This is Radio Nepal. I am Dela Prasai with the news, the headlines first. Prime Minister Sherba Durbar says no Prime Minister has right to dissolve Parliament. Election Commission says no permits required for essential service of vehicles on voting day. Nepal Army set up integrated election security cell at the centre, province and district levels. And Ukrainian officials warn war is not over after Russia's withdrawal from Kherson. Now the news in detail. Prime Minister Sherba Durbar has said the Left Democratic Alliance is imperative for the peace and development of the country. Addressing an election mass gathering in Chitwan yesterday, Prime Minister Durbar said the Left Democratic Alliance was needed for the stable peace and development of the country. Saying no Prime Minister has the right to dissolve the Parliament, Prime Minister Durbar said the current ruling coalition partners had brought back the Parliament into life after it was dissolved twice. He further said the country would be developed by expanding industries and using ample water resources, adding all Nepalese should get united for the same. Also speaking on the occasion, CPN Maoist Centre Chairman Puspa Kamal Dahal Prachanda said the current coalition was formed to save the country from disaster. The Election Commission has said that the vehicle pass will not be required for the vehicles used by essential services on the voting day. The Election Commission has made this arrangement for the convenience of the smooth operation of vehicles used for the essential services on the voting day on November 20. Election Commission stated that vehicle passes would not be required for ambulance, fire trucks, water supply tanker, vehicle transporting garbage, milk vans, vehicles used for telecom and cable services, and the vehicles carrying doctors, health service workers and employees holding hospital identity cards. Similarly, permits would not be required for vehicles used by media persons bearing the press pass issued by the Department of Information and Broadcasting or the Province Media Registrar's Office or the Communications Authority under the province government or any other regulatory body of similar nature or those media persons bearing identity cards issued by the media houses registered and operating as per the existing laws and listed in the Press Council, Nepal. The vehicles used by the election observers and monitors bearing the identity card issued by the Election Commission, the vehicles used for carrying vegetable, fruits, and those used for electricity service, vehicles with blue number plate used by diplomatic missions, UN agencies, and the officials working in bilateral and multilateral development partner organizations, and the vehicles with green number plate used only for carrying foreign tourists will not require passes. Likewise, passes would not be required for vehicles of security bodies used by the security personnel and the vehicles used by the employees and volunteers deputed on election duty. The Election Commission has, however, warned that vehicles used for essential services would not be allowed to carry the voters. The Nepal Army has set up the integrated election security cell at the centre, province and district levels and brought them into operation. Nepal Army Public Relations and Information Directorate said around 75,000 personnel would be deputed for the entire election-related security, including securing the polling stations, transportation of polling materials, reserve force and air patrols. The Directorate stated that Army personnel have been deployed and mobilized at 779 places for election security. The Army will provide security at the polling stations remaining in the outer security rim. Likewise, the Army has mobilized 832 bomb disposal squads in connection with election security and 143 teams in a ready position. CPN-UML Chairman KP Sharma Oli has directed all cadres to be united under the National Building Campaign, addressing an election gathering at Lomki of Kailali yesterday. Chairman Oli urged all the cadres of all parties to be dedicated to the nation building. He also urged the voters not to sell their votes, saying only corrupt people could come to buy votes. Communication and Information Technology Minister Gyanendra Bahadur Karki has claimed that the current ruling coalition was formed for the defence of the Constitution and national prosperity. Talking to media persons in Sunsari yesterday, Minister Karki pledged to defend the rights of all classes, regions and communities by safeguarding the Constitution. He further said the current ruling coalition would continue for a longer period of time for the defence of freedom of expression and the prosperity of the country. An earthquake measuring 5.4 in the Richter scale occurred yesterday at 8:12 p.m. in Sudur Paschim province. The earthquake was felt in the district of Baitari, Darchula, Dadeldhura, Acham, Kanchanpur, Kailali and others. According to the National Seismological Monitoring and Research Centre, Surkhet, the epicenter of the quake was Patadewal in Bazhang district. Police said that no evidence of the loss has been recorded so far. Earlier earthquakes took place in the region on November 9 and 10. The earthquake of 6.6 in the Richter scale occurred on November 10 had claimed 6 lives. Nepal Airlines is to operate the international flight from Bhairahawa-based Gautam Buddha International Airport. Archana Khadka, the spokesperson of Nepal Airlines, said preparations were on the way to operate international flights from Gautam Buddha International Airport from the end of this December. The Armed Police Club has clinched the title of the Prime Minister Cup One-Day National Cricket Championship by defeating another departmental team, Tribhuvan Army Club, by 4 wickets. With the win, the Armed Police Force Cricket Club has bagged a cash prize of 1 million rupees. The runner-up team, Tribhuvan Army Club, received 500,000 rupees cash prize. After losing the toss, the Tribhuvan Army Club was invited to bat. In the first inning of the game, the Army Club was restricted to make 179 runs in 30 overs as they lost all the wickets. The Armed Police Force chased the 180 runs targeting, losing 6 wickets playing 38 overs. You're listening to Radio Nepal 8 a.m. English News Bulletin. We continue with the international updates now. Ukrainian officials warned that the war is not over after Russia's withdrawal from Kherson, even as celebrations continue over the weekend. Cheers! Crowds welcome Ukrainian troops to the city on the only regional capital taken by Moscow since February on Friday. Similarly, jubilant scenes were reported in other regions across Ukraine, including the capital Kiev and Odessa. But despite the blow to Moscow's ambitions, officials remain cautious, according to the BBC. Kherson lacks running water, medicines and food, but emergency supplies are starting to arrive from nearby Mykolaiv and A2 cities, mayor says. The aide, Roman Golunva, says 70 to 80,000 people live in Kherson now out of the pre-war population of 320,000. Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky said that before fleeing from Kherson, the occupiers destroyed all critical infrastructure, communication, supply of water, heat and electricity. United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres has urged the Myanmar military government to immediately return to democracy, saying the current situation in the country was a threat to peace in the region. On the sideline of the ASEAN meeting, Guterres told reporters on Saturday that the situation in Myanmar is an unending nightmare for the people and a threat to peace and security across the region. Now the general weather forecast for the country for today. Forecasting Division says the weather is likely to be partly to generally cloudy in the hilly and mountainous areas of Province 1, Bagmati Province and Gandaki Province, and mainly fairing the rest of the provinces. Kathmandu's weather report now, maximum temperature of 23.4 degrees Celsius and minimum temperature of 9.5 degrees Celsius. With this news, we have come to the end of this bulletin, but before we wrap up the headlines once again. Prime Minister Sherbadu Dioba says no Prime Minister has right to dissolve Parliament. Election Commission says no permits required for essential service vehicles on voting day. Nepal Army set up integrated election security cell at the central, province and district levels, and Ukrainian officials warn war is not over after Russia's withdrawal from Kherson. Well, that's all that we have for this edition. Our next English news edition is at 2 in the afternoon. You can also listen to us online at our website www.radionepal.gov.np for more news and online programs. Stay tuned, stay safe and have a good day.